I'm the Dragon King, otherwise known as Stretch.
I am Magiga, the Dragon Slayer.
Dragon Breath here. Many might know me as Joe.
And my clan is the Dragon Wonders.
So we just unboxed one of these right here. We're setting up our own decks to play a game for fun. I have no idea how to build a successful deck because I'm still learning. So I'm going to put together a deck that I feel might be able to win. Now, when I'm sorting my deck, because I'm still learning, I'm going to go with what's most familiar with me in playing. Now, will it be successful? I don't necessarily know. So I'm going to intermingle it with other orbitals. So right off the bat, I personally am going to separate it by orbitals. Most of the time, what I'm really looking for is a majority, because a lot of these cards are meant to play off one another. That's what I presume. So I'm thinking, if I'm just opening up a box of cards, I'm hoping that what I'm choosing to work with, they're going to be good to work with each other. And that's just an assumption that I'm making. What are your thoughts, Stretch? Is it better to use as many of the same orbitals?
It really depends on what kind of cards you get.
And like I said, also, I'm more apt to using ones that I'm familiar with. So, for instance, Petraea, which right now it doesn't seem like I have any. I'm not quite done sorting. But I do know that I do not know how to use Umberthine. Because that's more of, what would you say, what type of style?
That is, you're doing reanimation and killing.
Killing, okay. What I've liked to kind of do with Petraea is build up my power so that unless they have a death strike, which really I have yet to find a Petraea way to block that. Is very, very useful, and that's what's kicked my butt in the past. And but in this specific scenario, it's just a friendly game here. Now, when we are constructing these decks, I don't have to worry about power because I can put whatever I want into these decks. With respects to those 70 cards. I just have to be smart. Here we go. There we go. We'll try. Heliosynth seems to have some decent stuff. But one other thing that I kind of look for too is, do I have a land? Because I like to have, or what I've been told, it's nice to have at least 7 lands at the minimum. One that could be set up in each realm. But if you're playing a bigger deck, I've been told it's good to have as many as 12. I'm not sure if that's...
For like a constructed 50-card deck.
Yeah. But in this case, I'm also going to look at, because I have used Boundless as well. So I'm going to do kind of the same thing. See how many lands I have here. 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 also on Boundless.
Why are lands significant?
Lands are significant because they make your actions cost 1 less. So when I'm playing something that might be a cost of 7, it'll only cost me 6. So if I'm going to go with Boundless as a part of my deck, I want to make sure that I've got lands to cover, because that's going to be help me out in the long run.
What else are lands good for?
Good for harvesting. So you gain actions when you harvest them.
And some lands have on-harvest abilities on top of just gaining it.
Correct.
So worth considering as well.
I've only got one land in Heliosynth. So there's a chance I may not go with too many of these. In my mind, there's also cards that gain you different actions or energies if you have to draw cards and you happen to draw the same orbital. So I don't want to mix too many different orbitals when I'm building my deck, because it reduces my chances of having that work out in my. So unless I have constructed a deck that, if I'm looking to go that route, I want to make sure that I'm following kind of that a little bit. There's 3 lands in Foulwind as well. I'm not canceling out Heliosynth, but there's a better chance that I may not add them. Umberthine, again, is one of those ones that, like, I haven't dealt a lot with, but I've got a crap ton of lands, so I might even want to switch this up, because just in Umberthine, I've got 6 lands just in Umberthine. The only problem is as I'm learning, do I want to win or do I want to learn? That's one thing too, is in play, I'm going to look at the cost of power. Even though I have plenty of lands and could put this down and it would cost me only 8. 8 is still a lot. Costs a lot, which I may not even be able to use this card. There's a very good chance that's, even though it would just overpower like crazy, I may never be able to afford it. And if I get stuck with that in my hand, I can always discard it, whatever, or hope that I've got enough cards in my hand when we start another round that I can just discard it. But I'd rather just put everything in my deck that I know that I'll be able to use. So that would be an automatic discard in my eyes.
Now, keep in mind with Umberthane, if you have things where you can bring a card from the Abyss back, you don't have to pay the cost. So if that card ended up in your Abyss and you were able to bring a Wonder back, you get to bring it out for free.
Oh, and play it though?
It gets put on the board for free.
Oh,
Depending
wow.
on the card that you have, like, as long as if you have a card that lets you bring something, and not just Umberthine, I think there's some others too, but Umberthine is very much put stuff in your Abyss so that you can bring it back for free.
Maybe it's time that I learn how to use Umberthine, because Umberthine seemed to kind of kick my butt.
What knocked me out of the cup.
Which is weird, because Patria was what I was made to believe, a good, solid, deck.
I think most people will agree that Patria is the strongest and Umberthine is second strongest.
So I might consider combining the two and just seeing kind of what happens. I don't know. But I've only got 30 cards that I can choose from. So I'm going to go through and read off what the card says, and if I think it will do me any good, then I'll take it. It's easier to eliminate ones that I know won't do my deck any good than it is to put it in my deck and then weed it out. So because I've only got one land in Foulwind, I'm gonna take that one out. I'm only starting with Foulwind because
And that's a token land?
it's a token
So it
land.
doesn't even give me anything special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This would be okay. Tap free, draw a card, but will it necessarily do me any good? I'm not saying it won't, but I'm limited to 30, so I'm gonna potentially put that over in this deck. Tap free, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put them back in order or bury them. Now, what could be nice is playing this card prior to one of these that allows me to discard or into the abyss, right? Because if I can see what it is and then put it back and then play a card that's going to allow me to put those into the abyss and then bring them back and play them.
So there's that, but also...
That's also using a lot of actions just to...
But your tap... So here's the thing. Your tap free, it gives you intelligence about what's on top of your deck.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you know what's in your deck, if you know that maybe a really good card you're looking for hasn't come out yet, and maybe it's in the top 3, or maybe it's not. If it's not in the top 3, maybe you're burying all 3 of those. Also, because it's tap free, it doesn't cost an action to use. And so then once you can see what your top 3 are, you might want to put them back and then decide, yeah, I want to draw. For my next action, I'm going to draw a card because one of those top 3 is good.
But if I also put in Patria, then, and I can harvest lands to cause more actions, I can utilize this to draw those cards that I think are going to be most helpful.
I mean, with lands in general of any kind, yes. Yeah, you're going to harvest and gain actions.
So it's also an epic. It doesn't cost a lot, and it still gives me a little bit of power. I'm thinking I want to possibly keep this one in my deck. Okay, secondary spell, this Thunderclap Flash. Stun target wonder. This is one that got me in the end. There was somebody that I was playing with. I remember he used this on he had 3 actions left and he played this one, and then he harvested more, and then he put this in realm 1.
So when you cast a spell, yeah, you don't place it in a realm. It goes immediately into your abyss.
Into your abyss, but
he chose realm 1 to
he chose realm 1 so that he can overpower, take it over. And so I think it's a good card to potentially have when it gets to realm 7. Only because if I have the majority of the stones, I want to make sure that I can keep that. I don't want them to necessarily be able to overpower me and take over.
What is your...
All right. Well, I appreciate Stretch for help explaining certain things to me as I build my own, my first 30 card sealed deck. Thanks for joining me, and we will see how this fares in upcoming matches. Have a great night. We'll see you later.